Hey, Corey Evans here. Welcome to this cornfield in southern Minnesota. We're here today to bring you Easy Insights update number 8. So I got John Zick behind the camera, and today is July 5th, which would put us a day after the 4th of July. And obviously the corn is knee-high by the 4th of July. So it's greater than knee-high, it's about chest-high, and we are 8 leaves away from hitting tassel. So 8 leaves would put us, let's assume 2 to 3 days per leaf. We're about 21 to 25 days away from tassel. Once we hit tassel, we're about 55 to 60 days away from physiological maturity or black layer in corn. So we've got 3 weeks until tassel. We have to make a decision now of should we apply a fungicide or should we not. The way I go about making that decision is using the data direct me to the right way. So if you look at the Winfield United Answer Plot system, we derive response to fungicide scores. We take a hybrid, we apply a fungicide, we don't apply a fungicide, and we look at the difference in yield. The higher the difference in yield, the higher the score or response to fungicide the product gets. Now, last year's data said if you have a high response to fungicide product or a moderately high response to fungicide product, there's an 18.5 bushel return on applying a fungicide. If you had a low response, a moderately response, that was only worth 7 bushels. So make sure you know your hybrid's response to fungicide as you start making a decision. Now the second thing that would come into the decision-making factor is the current conditions of the corn crop. And I want you to come down here and think about what this corn plant is going through right now. So I'm just starting to pull back what's gonna become this corn ear. At V12, until we hit tassel, this corn's going to start determining row length. So keeping this plant healthy and photosynthesizing properly will be key to making sure we achieve the highest yield potential we can. Now, knowing that, we've already had reports of anthracnose starting to show up on corn leaves. But when you have anthracnose, it's going to start in the lower part of the canopy. We also had a really cool and wet season to start out with. I think we set ourselves up for some crown rot and stalk rot for late season. If you're applying a fungicide, remember, fungicide is contact chemistry. It demands great coverage to get the active ingredient to the pest. So when we're talking about getting deposition of our fungicide into the crop canopy, make sure we're adding master lock to the tank with drop tight technology to make sure the active ingredient gets to the pest. We've got a busy 3 weeks ahead of us, a lot of decisions to make, but make sure that we're using the data and ag technology tools that John and I talked about last week in Chicago to make sure we're making the best decision and stacking the deck of cards in our favor to have a positive ROI. We'll see you next week in your neighbor's field.